one tool for you guys, if you only have one phone, is an app, and it's called Mover. Now, I'm not sponsored by Mover. I don't get any incentives from them. I'm not going to give a link to it or nothing, because even though I could benefit for you using it, that's not the purpose of this video. This purpose is just to let you guys be aware of the app and what I think about it, the good and the bad. So Mover is a really cool app that allows me to do multi-apping. You can add in Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, up to 5 different apps all at one time. So, and you can set the parameters for acceptance or auto decline on these apps. So it kind of works almost like a bot, where when the orders come in, it'll evaluate based on the parameters that you put in on each order, be it miles to the dollar or the minimum amount for an order, or just different payouts. So you can put in all these different parameters for each different type of order. It's really helpful, especially with like Instacart. But it will auto accept or auto decline every order. So you're more or less managing 5 apps all at one time. It's not an app that you could do while you're driving. Do not use Mover while you're driving, because it still needs your undivided attention while things are going on with it. So those are some of the good things about Mover. It does have a fee. I have to look it up. I'll put it right here, how much I pay a month to have the Mover app. I think I went for the annual one, and I just paid for the whole year, I think. But I'll double check and I'll post it right here. But for other than the fee to use the app, I think it's very advantageous with being able to grab orders really quick. Because if you've ever done Instacart or some of these other apps, the orders that pop up just go super quick, especially now that they have like Trip Radar with Uber and Lyft. This is a good way to auto accept orders without having to think about it. Another good thing is Mover goes through, and after you auto accept an order, it will go to all the other apps and turn them into pause mode. So that is awesome as well. Now, those are the good aspects of using Mover. Now let me tell you about some of the hiccups that I've kind of run into with it. Because you're running 5 apps at one time, if your phone is kind of older or slower, it can bog down a little bit. So you might want to run only 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. Running all 5 could be kind of overload for your phone. Another thing I didn't really care about the Mover app is when it closes each app after it's accepted it. So let's say you get a Grubhub order and you're like, all right, accepted the Grubhub order. It has to go and turn off each app, which is great, but it doesn't do it in the background. It does it in the forefront. So you kind of got to sit there a minute or two until it's able to go through each one of these apps. And then it'll notify you that, hey, they've all been turned off, and you can proceed with your order now. I like a lot of what Mover has to offer. Some of the things another thing that I don't really care about or hiccup it has is if you're in an area where you lose signal, for some reason the app thinks, oh, you completed that delivery. So let's say you accepted a Grubhub order, and then you get into a neighborhood where there's no cell phone signal. Mover may, at times I've noticed, it glitches and it says, oh, you've completed your Grubhub delivery, because there's no signal, and it goes and turns all the apps on again. And then as soon as you goes to attempt to turn all the apps on again, and as soon as you get a signal again, it's like, oh, we got to turn all the apps off again. And it kind of glitches like that. So that's a downfall, I think, with Mover as well. But with the app as well, you have the auto accept and the auto decline that you can set up for Mover. And I do not recommend setting the auto accept unless it's for Uber or Lyft, and you set like, I want nothing less than a $20 fare or so much distance, because sometimes things can fit in your parameters for an order, but it's not really where you want to go or the direction. So you're like, oh, I'll take any Instacart order over $30, and all of a sudden they're giving you orders that are stacked that are like 50 miles, 60 miles. You're like, oh, geez, I don't want that. And then you got to go into the app and decline the orders or reject the orders, and that messes up your acceptance rate and everything else, and you don't want to get into that back and forth. But I do like it for the auto decline. So when I use DoorDash and Grubhub, I will set it. I just like, don't give me any order that's under $8, and during the evening times, and that way they just kind of weed out everything there. But even when you do for the auto decline, and then if it's not set for auto accept, it'll show you each order, and then you get to manually choose it, select it or not. So it's a pretty cool app to play with. I would definitely check it out. I don't know if I would get the annual for everybody. I like it just because there's times when it's super slow, like right now, where you don't want to be waiting around trying to fumble through all these apps at once. What this app does is if any order comes in for any of them, that order comes to the front of your phone and notification comes on and it says, hey, this order is available for Grubhub or DoorDash or Instacart. Do you want to accept it? And you can accept or decline. So just some of the things to think about. I don't like to have to go back into the apps and cancel out orders that were auto accepted. So I think that's kind of a glitch with it too. But if you guys have tested out the Muver app, let me know what you think. My rating for the Muver app on a 5.0 scale is I'm going to give Muver a 3.9. So it has its parts, it has its time to use, but when it's super busy, I don't think the app can keep up with how fast orders come in. Like if you turn 5 apps on a Friday or Saturday night, it'll be pandemonium. 1 or 2 is enough for me. But to each his own. Hope you guys get some valuable information out of this. I'm going to continue on my series with tools that I use. Hopefully that helps you out, especially in this slow time of the season. And until we get to the spring and people start getting out and doing more now that the holidays are over. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll hit you on the next one.